Hi everyone, my name's Matt.
And I'm Jackie.
And this is the Matt and
Jacqui Show.
Here we are in our kitchen again, and we are making pizza tonight, right Jackie?
Yes, Matt, because we seem to make a lot of homemade pizzas. Not all the time, but since we've moved here, we've made a number of pizzas. And people do ask us, how do you make them? Because we make them from scratch, which includes the dough. So we're going to show you how we do it. We've made these a number of times, and we did look at a couple of recipes, but now we kind of just guesstimate. So we're going to start off with some all-purpose unbleached flour. You can use whole wheat flour or whichever flour you like. We like the unbleached, we just figure it's a bit better. So depending on the size of the pizza, and what's important as well is looking at the texture, looking at the quality of the consistency. You don't want it too liquidy, but you don't want it too dry, because then it gets crumbly and then it also tastes crumbly. So we just sort of add what we add, and then we can always add more later. There's no rule against that. A little bit of salt, not too much, don't worry Mum. Mum doesn't like me to have too much salt, which is a good piece of advice. In our pizzas, we like to have some garlic powder, just because it adds to a bit of flavor and the aroma. This is all the pizza base, by the way. Paprika, just a touch of Cajun seasoning, just makes it a bit different. Chili powder is always nice. Obviously, if you don't want a spicy pizza, you don't want to do this. You can also add a bit of cracked pepper. So these are just flavorings to add a little bit of a kick to the base, but totally up to you. And then we need to add some baking powder, so this just helps it to rise and helps the consistency a little bit. I tend to just shake it on. Some people might add like a teaspoon, a couple of heaped teaspoons. And then for the consistency, we want to add some, this is boiled water. Look at that. That bubbling is from the baking powder. Some good old olive oil, which adds flavor and moisture and just makes it really nice. I have some room temperature water, so sometimes, especially when you go to knead it together, the boiling water is pretty hot. So firstly, I'm going to mix it with a wooden spoon. So as you can see, it's not quite enough moisture, but we've got all the ingredients mixing in, all the beautiful flavors. Smells actually pretty fresh, right Matt?
Yeah, it smells great.
So we're going to add a bit more water, because this is going to be like a big dough where we can roll it. So we're going to knead it together in a moment. So I've taken off any rings because you don't want to get them caught. So that's a good thing to remember. Washed hands and rings off. At this point I might start to use my hands, but what I find is, because it gets a bit hot, it can get messy, and that's okay, because as my mother would say, messy means creative. Now when you have a fairly consistent ball of dough, we'll make that even better in a moment, but we're going to have to roll it out. So we put a bit of flour, spread that out nicely. This will just help to seal it off and also just give it a nice outside coating. Now this is cornmeal. This is good for a bit of texture and a bit of crunch, and it also helps to seal the base. So you don't need to go crazy, you can have as much or as little as you want. There are no real rules. So that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to get this big ball of dough. Don't worry if there are bits left out, we can always add them in later. So we want to make sure this flour is also helping to seal it, but if it does get a bit dry, you can just add a bit of oil, a bit of water, just mix it in. We can be generous, it doesn't matter. And this will feel quite nice and warm. And we're rolling it out. Now if you find that it's sticking like that, then we can easily just add a sprinkle more of flour, which will help to separate the two. Now depending on if you want a thick or a thin crust will depend on how far you roll it out. We've just got this on a regular wooden chopping board. I'm turning it over because I want to make sure it's not sticking. Might even add just a touch more flour. That way it's sealed off nicely. both sides. We have preheated the oven. Now we're working in Fahrenheit because we're in America, so this is 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So this was preheated. I'm not too fussy about if it's completely preheated or not, because what we're going to do is we're going to par bake this so that when we put the toppings on, they're not going to all soak through, and then you try to put it back in the oven and then it all falls apart.
Wait, did you say par bake?
Par bake, like parboil. Parboil means like semi-boil, like a little bit. So we're going to partly bake.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So I'm going to use the pizza peel.
There it is, off of our pizza peel and pizza paddle, whatever.
Pizza paddle.
Yeah.
So as you can see, because it's, and I've used my hands already, so I'm not too worried about using them again. But this does assist, especially in getting on and off the pizza peel and into the oven. We did. So onto our pizza stone, and we'll set the timer for 7 minutes is enough.
While Jacqui usually does that preparation, I am cutting up some vegetables. So I have myself a knife, and first thing I'm gonna cut up is this cucumber, zucchini. Zucchini. See, I know what I'm talking about. Jack, we want like half of it, right?
Sure.
Okay, great. So we'll use this half, and what I like to do is cut them really thin. So you can also get something called a mandolin, which we don't have yet, but it's like this little thing that lets you slice it. Oh, that's really thin. Look at that. But the thinner that they are, the better they cook. Unless you want like crispy and crunchy and kind of weird. Cooked vegetables are nice when they're kind of soft, I think. So I'll speed this part up. Next up, you have mushrooms. What you usually have to do is rinse them, which Jacqui already did, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And then you take out these little bottom parts where you know where they grow, like the little stems. I like to do like little slices of these too. All right, so there we go. I've chopped them all up. And next I have an eggplant and green pepper. And also we have some red pepper.
Capsicum for the Australians.
First off, I'm gonna use this one. It's gonna cut it in half. It has seeds and stuff. Usually just wash them off. And I like to cut off this weird part. Make them look all nice. Hey Jacqui, I'm noticing something. I left my ring on, is that right?
It's different with vegetables versus dough.
That's true. I'm not needing vegetables. I mean, you need vegetables, but you don't like need vegetables. That's a joke, Jacqui.
Right, Matt.
So with this eggplant, I'm just gonna cut it. Make sure not to hurt your fingers. Actually, I saw on a cooking show once you're supposed to kind of like do like this with your knuckles.
That's right.
I wasn't doing that, but but pretend I was, everybody. So you can do like this, so you don't cut off your fingertips.
Looks like they've already been cut off.
You don't have to peel it, right, Jacqui?
Right.
So we're just gonna kind of cut it like a couple times here. All right, so now you can see that all the vegetables are all chopped up. So this is a lot of vegetables, probably won't fit all this on the pizza, but we were super excited about vegetables, right, Jacqui?
Yes, and we like variety, so we've still got some spinach leaves ready to go, and some pineapple.
Not chopped yet, but soon.
Not yet chopped. Some grated cheese, some olives. And we do have some Thai chili peppers, hot chili peppers. They're described as, they're not too hot for us anyway, from our garden. And we will have some pizza sauce for the base and a few more herbs for the base. So let's get to that now, Matt.
So now the crust is cooked, pre-cooked, whatever Jacqui said.
Par baked. But as you can see, it's cooked but not fully cooked, but enough that I can do this and it won't fall apart. So now we're going to add the ingredients. It's going to go back in the oven for about another 10 or so minutes, and then we're going to take it out and eat it. So firstly, we'll be putting the sauce, just any old pizza sauce base. You can make your own with tinned tomatoes, chopped tomatoes.
Which we've done before.
A bit of salt and pepper, maybe even a touch of sugar just to neutralize a bit of the acids. Oh, well, the salt will do that. The sugar will add a bit of flavor, or you can just get some. So we're going to pour that on, but then also we like to add we'll spread this around, and then we add some Italian seasoning, or you can get some fresh herbs from the garden, which we've also done before, or as Australians call it, oregano, as Americans call it oregano. So it's completely up to you, and because once again we like our things spicy, we're also going to add some chili sprinkles, crushed red pepper if you like. So we will just now add the ingredients.
Alright, so putting a pizza peel on the oven. Jacqui, show them how it's done. We have a little helper thing. You could just like slide it on, but we like to use this little spatula. And you stick it right on the pizza stone.
10 minutes on the timer should be enough.
Look at that. So here's the cool thing about these pizza scissors, is you can use them to cut the pizza without ruining the board. And then when you're done, you can just have the pizza scissors go underneath, and you can use it as a spatula. So Jacqui, you've chopped them up, very small pieces.
Smallish, yeah. So these can be cooked with the pizza, or you can throw them on at the end.
Well, our pizzas are done, right, Jack?
Yes.
They look good and taste good. One thing about using wooden spatulas and wooden pizza paddles, things like that, you mostly want to wash them that night, not wait till the next day. Lesson learned. Anyway, enjoy your food, everybody. Bye.
Bye. .com